Hey, what's up, traders? Just a quick reminder, we're still doing this contest. If you'd like, comment, subscribe to all the videos that I post this month. We're going to pick somebody who's done that for the course of the month and give them free access to the full academy. And if you already have access to the academy, some sort of call with me. So check out our video for a winner of last month for February, and I'll probably hop on a call with you anyway. So like, comment, subscribe, and we'll choose a winner at the end of the month. And thanks for your support. Peace. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the 11th of March, 2020. I appreciate you hopping on. It's been an epic day for us trading. Tons of pips. I think we caught, at the end of the day, 410, if I counted them correctly. So amazing day. If you watched my video yesterday, I told you exactly, you can go back and watch it, how I was going to do that, what I was going to do, and woke up this morning and did it. But I mean, sometimes you just get in the zone trading for sure, and I definitely felt like I was there today. So let's go over that. And before we get started, please like, comment below, subscribe to our channel, and we'll be doing a giveaway at the end of the month. You can get some free access to my group or call with me. It'll be cool. So that being said, if you'd like to be a part of our group to learn my strategies and learn how I do this day after day, week after week, some days are better than others, some weeks are better than others, but I've been doing this for a long time and I'm pretty consistent. So if you'd like to learn these strategies, click the link below to get started, and you can get it within the next 6 hours at a discount. So that being said, let's get right to the charts, and I'm going to go over the same charts I went over yesterday, but let's have a look and see how things have changed for sure, because it's changed a bunch. The markets are still very volatile, very choppy. So really getting in, finding your rhythm is going to be very, very important and helpful for you to find some consistency for sure. So try not to force it, but really focus on getting yourself into rhythm. And what I like to do is I like to focus on 1 or 2, 3 pairs. Today it was EJ, UJ, and GBPUSD, and I shared those same setups yesterday, what we were going to do. And then right now we're looking at dollar CAD because I'm really looking at oil, which I was talking about that last night as well. So, with dollar CAD here, before I get into our, we were trading this great. We did get stopped out at the end of the day and just re-entered here. And I really like this entry price. This is actually one of my favorite setups. I think you could probably call this a 3 drive, 1 drive, 2, and 3, while the RSI here is showing divergence to the downside. I love this setup, and I'll show you a couple different reasons why I like it too. And right now, just looking at it, hopefully you're saying, especially if you're in my group and have been in the group for long enough, you're saying, dude, that's a double top right there. And this is what I would love to see happen, because you could see this would make the neckline of the double top formation. And if that were to happen and we can break through that support here, we could get some really, really significant downside and probably end up closing this gap right here. So I like this trade. Oil is down there low in the low 30s right now, and it's just a matter of time before it takes off, in my opinion. And that's going to be a super profitable trade, super profitable setup, and that's something I am just like salivating looking at for sure. So this looks very good, and when I see this too, I always like to zoom out. And why I feel so good about this is, man, if you remember the first of the week, a lot of stuff's happened since then, but how over bought we got on these CAD pairs because of that massive gap in oil, right? So we are still way in this overbought territory on the RSI here. So I feel really good about this being a ceiling here. 137.80 is a really, really strong area of resistance. And, like I said, look for oil to make a move, whether it's today. I really honestly thought it was breaking down today. I think there's a couple potential things going on with oil that I do want to point out. And I think we could see more downside before we get the upside. So that's not the worst thing in the world, because it's just going to create a better entry. So on the 4 hour here, we have this pennant, right? So this is a gap that will at some point get filled here. Now, if this wasn't oil, I'd say be looking for us to fill out to the same degree that this pennant is, since we've broken out of it. But that would take us way down there. Let's see if we can even see it. Doesn't quite work the same on my iPad as say it. One of the downsides, as opposed to using TradingView, but not a big deal. So that's a possibility that we make it all the way down there. But what I am personally thinking, that's a possibility. But if we go to the hourly here, and man, what was I looking at? Okay, the 30-minute. Really looked like we formed a bear flag. Okay, so you can see this is especially, I don't necessarily like to use such a short time frame, but look, if we go to the 15-minute, you can clearly see this is a bear flag pattern, right? And we broke down out of it, and we kind of retested up here. And whether or not this sticks, it's kind of yet to be seen. But if you ask me, and especially, I saw this before this dropped. I saw this. I was like, dude, that looks like a bear flag. Like, so just like I said, the degree that the pennant is on here, right? So the same applies to a flag pattern. So if this is the flagpole here, and this makes sense that we would have a bearish move here because of this false breakout here. Remember, if you're in my group, you hear this probably every day, but don't forget it. A false breakout usually leads to a breakdown. And so what do we got here, right? So here's our false breakout. Here's our breakdown. Here's our consolidation bear flag pattern. And that would take us to, so say if this is where we broke down to, about 29. And so I was doing this. So now it's time for the Fibonacci's, right? So this is kind of how I like to put together the puzzle. And you have to think of the market as being a puzzle that if you can start to figure out and like learn to solve it, just forget about the money for a little bit. Forget about making money. Just be like, dude, what's going on here? How can I put the pieces together? Because look what I just did, right? So I literally rewind this video if you want to learn how to do this for free. I go into way more detail in the training on it over and over again. But pennant, bear's pennant. We broke down. We created a bear flag. And here's the flagpole. We have another flagpole. And where does that point us to? Right at the 78.6% retracement. So, if we get down that far, like, look, I was hoping that we were going to rally right here, because the thing is this gap is going to get filled. This is going to get filled. And what I'm hoping is that, I have buys in down here. This, we get some sort of deal between Russia and Saudi Arabia, OPEC, and then we break through this layer of resistance, and then we break through there, retest, and then this starts to act as support, and we start to get some movement upwards. And dude, if that happens, and then we have this big consolidation pattern, which, now looking at it too, it looks like it could be making something like a double bottom. And then we get a move back to these higher levels up here, where it's more kind of the median average price for oil. But, say I get a hold down here, if I'm patient enough, eventually, and this is what I'm going to try to do for real, we are going to hit these prices. The price will increase. We'll hit 65. And, man, if you have leverage trade down here at like 28 and you're long, and there's no swap fees for crude, well, depending on your broker, that all depends. But regardless, you're looking at a crazy, great, amazing trade, and good enough to make your whole year, right? So this is what I'm hoping. I'm trying to play this out. Sorry, I just went into way more detail on oil than I was planning on, but I'm really watching this closely, because you have to remember, especially when we're talking about a commodity like this, especially when we're talking about oil, there's a floor, a price, right? And that is zero. It's not going to go. I mean, I guess it could go less than zero. They're trying to give it away, but it's not going to go less than zero, right? So that's where we know the floor is for sure. So what's going to happen? I mean, is it going to get down here to 25 again? I mean, you and your girlfriend or boyfriend can't eat at a decent restaurant for less than $25. It's probably going to be more. So can you imagine a barrel of oil being that same price? So what I mean is that, it's not going to stay that cheap for that long. And eventually, these countries and companies that are running this oil trade want to make considerably more profit. So it's just a matter of time to where it does rally. We may get one more flush to the downside here, because, I mean, look at where we are. We're way, 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 way oversold, but we're not showing really any divergence yet. I'd like to maybe get some divergence here while we flush out back down to 27. That would be epic. So that's what I'm looking for in oil. But, say the price kind of fluctuates now, that's going to be very tied to the Canadian dollar for sure. So let me speed this up real quick. So pound dollar, we made a killer 100-pound trade here. Here's our false breakout. We put in a limit order last night during Asian session. It got triggered during London session, and we hit 40 pips, got taken out at entry, and then I re-entered in New York session this morning at 1.2920, and great trade right here to our 100 pip target. And I think, more than likely we'll probably end up retesting the bottom side of this pennant structure. Seen a lot of these pennants lately in gold, in oil, like I just showed you. So learning to recognize these patterns and these structures, like for me, it's just like I can see it and I'm like, oh, okay, wow, it's a pennant structure. Because I've seen so many of them. I've looked at, the charts and back tested. I'm doing this every day. And if you can start to get to a place where it's just pattern recognition, like you might think this is surprising, but I'm not a numbers person at all. I suck at math. I'm good at like 20, 40, 100 because I've been sending these signal trades out for 5 years now. But, I hate math. But what I am good at is pattern recognition and I guess geometry, maybe. But yeah, so being able to recognize these structures and these patterns over and over and over again can give you a lot more confidence in the market. So, you know, when you're doing your charting, or especially if you're going through my training, really go through the market structure video, the handout sheet that is with it, and then also just like finding those different structures for yourself, back testing and looking at the charts. And when you're approaching the market, that's going to be a game changer for you. So knowing that here's a false breakout of this pennant, we'll probably get a retest of this low here. And, you know, eventually, because this is a bullish pattern, I would think that we would appreciate from here, but we can't rule out, especially now that we're under this moving average, really breaking down. So that this will have a lot to do with the fundamentals of everything going on in the UK, coronavirus, all that stuff. Dollar yen, up, down, man. This thing's a roller coaster for sure. Actually, you know what? We didn't even trade the dollar yen today. We were trading euro yen and Swiss yen. Same thing. Not much has changed. Honestly, if we're talking about pattern recognition here, boom, we're in a triangle pattern, right? So this is the top of the gap. It definitely looks like a triangle pattern. Maybe you could even do it like this. So whether we break out to the downside here or to the upside is largely going to depend on the next 24 hours in the market and what happens with the coronavirus and U.S. equities, but they do not look good. We had quite the sell-off today. Still looking very, very bearish here. And clearly in a downtrend. So, but we are starting to diverge here on the daily. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow we get a little risk rally. Just throwing it out there. So here is Swiss yen. This is just a continuation, trading the trend here. And this is our entry. God, we're so close to this 100 pip target. So surely we'll hit this in the next few hours. I'd like to think so. But, you know, this is a great looking trade. So it seems like we found some support here. But, you know, anytime I see this, I got to take this trade. I have been stopped out before for taking it, but the risk to reward, meaning that, you know, I can put my stop loss right above these highs and the other side's trend line, and the reward being down here is too good to pass up. And, you know, you can see how often this has respected the trend. And last but not least, EJ. And so I was talking about in the video yesterday trading this gap. And here we broke down and we retested big wicks. You can see my Instagram too. I posted about this. And so big rejection here and some good downside, which we hit our 100 pip target today as well in EJ. So epic day, everybody. I really appreciate all the amazing vibes in the chat room. Y'all are the best. And let's keep it up. Let's finish the week strong. And yeah, so let's get it. Thanks for watching. Click the links below if you'd like to be a part of our amazing community. If you'd like to have me mentor you and trade, I'm very active mentoring and trying to shoot videos and answer people's questions. So, you know, you can count on, you know, if you put the effort out there, you become involved in our community, you definitely will not be forgotten about. So that being said, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.